See on the front cover.
Then with the car, but the old tiny
Ford.
Okay, so when do we think this was?
Way back in the old
Like the 1800s.
Way back.
1900.
Okay, so let's see, just because we're for sure going to read the first 2 chapters and then we'll go from there. Do you want me to read or do you want to like popcorn read?
Popcorn.
Okay, so Luke's going to read our first page and we'll go in a circle and we'll just read page by page. Okay?
Okay. Well, I just think the first time I saw a car up close was when I was walking home with my dad. We were each carrying a big sack of apples. My dad worked for Mrs. Williams, taking care of her large house and garden. When she saw me helping my dad pick up her apples, she told me to take some home. Mrs. Williams is generous like that. Suddenly, a weird noise came from behind us. It was a rattling, coughing kind of sound. We turned and saw a car driving in the middle of the road. It was just like we'd seen in pictures. The driver waved at us and we smiled back.
Wow. If we had a car like that, we wouldn't have to carry these heavy sacks, I said. We could never drive to the grocery store whenever we wanted. My father shook his head. Have you any idea what one of those contraptions cost? We can't afford a car, he said. Besides, I've got my bike and those wonderful things at the end of your legs. He pointed to my shoes, are called feet, and they're made for walking. Oh, Dad, I groaned. And those machines that run on rails like that take you places. They're called trains, he teased.
What does contraptions mean?
Like something, like something that you build or something.
Okay.
But just think, Dad, we could go wherever we wanted in the car. I continued enthusiastically. We could go on a picnic to the river and take an enormous picnic basket. Then something else occurred to me. How about driving to the beach, I guessed. I've never seen the ocean. Imagine going there in a car. My father still wasn't convinced, and he shook his head again. You're certainly fascinated by cars, aren't you? He smiled. They are the latest thing, I guess, but I'm not so sure about how great they are.
Chapter 2, Not a Toy. The following week, I went back to Miss Williams' house with my dad. When we got there, I could hardly believe my eyes. There was a black and shiny car in the driveway. My mouth hung open in amazement. Mrs. Williams ordered it a while ago. My dad said grinning, "It's just been delivered, so go ahead, you can touch it." I ran my hands over the smooth metal. It didn't seem real. Miss Williams was giddy with excitement too. You realize that you'll be doing the driving, don't you, Mr. Dawson? She said it to my dad. I don't know the first thing about driving. You'll be much better suited to do it than me. My dad looked uneasy. I guess I'll have to learn how to drive, he said, scratching his head. That night, my dad studied the car's instruction booklet, and every day when he arrived home from work, he told me that he had practiced driving on the driveway at Miss Williams' place. I wish I were there. It were me learning to drive.
So does everybody at this time know how to drive?
No.
No, it's kind of something that not very many people know how to do. Now everybody knows how to drive,
My
right?
mom has flipped her car.
Yeah. How many people do you know that are older than 16 that don't know how to drive? Anybody? No. Okay. One afternoon, Dad came home covered in dust from head to toe and looking miserable. The twins and I laughed as Mom beat clouds of dust out of his coat when she hung it on the washing line. And just how did you get so dusty and dirty? My mom asked. I drove Mrs. Williams to Brownsville to see her friend, replied my dad. It was a round trip of 20 miles on a bone-dry road. These roads are meant for horses and carts, not cars, he grumbled. And you should have seen Mrs. Williams, he continued. I've never seen her so annoyed before. Her clothes were covered in dust, too. Give me a horse and carriage any day.
The next night, I companioned
Accompanied.
I accompanied my dad to help him clean Mrs. Williams' car after the dusty drive the day before. We wiped, polished, washed, and brushed every surface inside and out. By the time we finished, the paintwork gleamed in the headlights and horns shone.
Yep.
I ran my hand over the steering wheel pretending I was driving. I squirmed and wriggled on the leather seat. Can you show me how to start the engine with the crank? Can we go for a ride? I pleaded. No, Alice replied my dad. The car isn't a toy, and I can't waste Mrs. Williams' gas and oil. Maybe one day we might be able to go for a ride. I asked my dad. My dad shrugged his shoulders and replied.
Okay, we're gonna stop right there so we can write. So, what I want you to do is I'm gonna give you each a piece of paper, and you're gonna write what you think the rest of the story. So we've read what the rest of the story is. So we've read chapters 1 and 2. We haven't read chapters 3 and 4. So I want you to finish the story. It doesn't have to be that long. I want you to at least have 5 full sentences. So, what do our sentences need to have?
Capitals and end of marks.
Okay.
Punctuation.
So we will pair, once you've written your 5 sentences, at least it can be longer than that, you're going to pair up and share what you, and read your story with your partner. Okay?
5 sentences.
At least. And they need to be 5 good sentences. If
Like
they don't,
about what we just read?
No, about
no,
what
you're
think's
going to
gonna
finish
happen.
the story.
I
So
just
what
know.
the rest of the
I
story
only
is
know
about.
one sentence that I think it's
Then
Let's
bring
get
the
out.
storm.
Yeah, you have to be more creative. Do we remember the characters' names, or do we need to go over them?
Miss Williams.
Miss Williams.
I
Who
just put
is-
he,
Hold on. Who is Miss Williams?
a girl.
She is who has the car.
Yeah.
Yes.
So her dad works for Mrs. Williams. What is his name? Mr. Dawson
Oh yeah. Mr. Dawson.
is the man or the dad.
I'm
And
just gonna
then
put he.
Alice
It's
is the girl.
Going this.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, I wish I could,
Don't look in the other 2 chapters. There's no right answer either, right?
Just says only the only wrong answers.
No. There can be more than one right answer. Let's see that.
It's Alice, right?
Yep.
Are we gonna kind of tell what happened?
So we can use our context clues.
I need 2 more sentences.
Unless that's different questions. I was still Alice.
It's A-L-I-C-E.
Okay.
A-L-I-C.
That's what I thought it was. What's your name then?
Alice and then Miss Williams.
Mrs. Williams is who has the car.
I don't know 2 more sentences.
Oh, I have 2 sentences. No. We'll look at these pictures.
I don't know 2 more sentences.
Does Alice have any siblings?
She said when her dad came home her and the twins laughed.
Oh.
Yep, so she is
So she at least has 2 more siblings, maybe more if we look at this picture. How many people do we see in this picture?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Counting the 2 parents.
Yep,
Oh, wait, let's see.
1,
6.
2.
There's 6.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
4 kids.
So there's Alice, the twins, and a baby.
Doesn't
parents.
Mr. Dawson get paid?
I don't know.
I think the twins are gonna split the dad about getting a car.
I'm just gonna guess. See if he does.
I don't even know.
You can look through the pictures.
In chapter 3.
No, you guys are just making up the rest of the story.
Yeah, I made it up with 3 sentences. I don't
I
know
think-
anymore.
2.
You definitely do. There's 2 more chapters we can talk about.
How do I spell properly?
P-L.
P-R-O-B-A-L-Y.
B-A-L.
Can we just end with 4?
Nope, you have to have 5. Try harder.
I don't know.
You do.
I
I
have 4.
need that.
Well, everybody's. No. Use your brain, Graham.
I am. I can't think of any more.
Oh, I have 1.
Joe. You're taking all the space.
Finito. I did. I just made up my own words. Spanish. Finito.
I need 1 more sentence. I need what else could they try? Dude, they live at Mrs. Williams' house.
No. The
Heck no.
the dad goes to Mrs. Williams' house to work. While washing cars and helping with the garage house and the gardens. Yeah. We got us some gladiators. Oh, I just found a movie.
Do you have 5 sentences? Let's let Beverly and me finish.
I'm not done.
And Austin.
I need 2 more.
That's sad.
Stop.
Do you have 5 sentences?
Show her. Prove it, Graham.
And let me read your 2 while we...
Oh, mine's not gonna be very good.
Mine's not gonna be very good either.
You might not be able to read my handwriting though.
I need 2 more.
I'm gonna die.
Okay, I will read you mine.
Is mine good?
Hold on.
Mine's
I will... Hold on. I will read you mine. And then Graham and Luke are gonna go out into the library and read theirs to each other while you two finish. But maybe by me reading mine, you'll have a little inspiration. Okay?
You can just steal some of your sentences.
That's,
No.
okay.
That's called stealing that inspiration.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. I said, at first my dad, Mr. Dawson, didn't want to take me for a ride. However, the next day, Mrs. William needed groceries, so she asked Daddy to drive her and if someone could carry her groceries for her. I had walked Dad to work, so I was already there. Dad asked if I wanted to come with them to get groceries. I said yes because that meant I got to ride in the car. I didn't mind if I would have to carry groceries too.
That was good.
Okay?
That's so good. Wait, but what about if we're in the picture? I'm getting up.
You're fine. Both of you are fine.
I saw, look, I still saw you.
Oh, wait.
You have 2 sentences. Come on.
I have 3.
Austin, are you okay? You look angry.
What's a car fixer?
Like a mechanic, but I didn't know how to spell that.
No, you're fine.
At all.
I wanted you to make sure you know what the word was. Okay, what do you have so far? We'll help you finish.
I think Mrs. Williams will pay them for cleaning the car. With the money they get, they will buy a car. I also think Alice will get a job of cleaning the car.
Okay,
Who had the most handwriting?
so maybe what could you say? You said that they might get a car with the money they make from cleaning the car. So could you talk about them going car shopping?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like,
You could say they decided to go car shopping
with the money.
with the money. And how did, at first in the story, how did Dad talk about if they wanted to travel far distances, what did they have to use? Graham, get on.
Security camera.
Do you remember?
They would have to use the bike.
They would either walk and use the bike, or if they wanted to travel really far, what did they use? Maybe he talked about it in one sentence. He talked about riding on a train.
Oh.
So you could say they rode on the train to go car shopping.
It does. This is only 5 sentences.
Let's stop talking, let Austin finish. Did you finish?
No.
Okay.
What?
What if Braverly, who do you want to go read your story with?
Nope.
Me?
You an option.
I just read it, so Luke or Graham.
Great.
Okay, why don't you two go out and read your stories to each other quietly. You don't have to take the book. You'll come back in here when you're done.
You just left me.
How you spell once? Is it O-N-C-E? Yeah, that's what I thought.
O-N-C-E.
Now, Luke and Austin are going to go read their stories to each other.
Why can't we just all read it? Like right here, just all read all of
I'm
it.
going this way.
We could, but the idea is that you
I'm
guys are
sending you
pairing
the
up.
jokes.
It's a secret.
So,
It's still here. All the way.
Graham, did you like Luke or Bravely's story better?
Bravely's.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay. Let's put all the books in a
I will.
stack. We're only gonna read the first 2 chapters today because of time. Okay. Do you guys? Actually, I'm gonna keep your papers.
I'll put my
And I'm gonna look at your sentence structure.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Writing my name so I don't forget. There you go.
I think I would be able to tell whose yours was. Maybe not the boys.
Hey, I have the best handwriting.
Ask
How do you
her
spell your
that.
name?
Graham.
Okay.
Let me see how you spelled it.
No.
You said Gram.
No, and then I kind of fixed